We're constantly looking for love and assurance and validation from the outside world all the time. And it's because we have doubts about ourselves. We are unsure about where we are at. We are unsure about who we are. So we want the outside world to give us that validation, to tell us who we are, to tell us that we are doing a good job, to tell us that we are proud, to tell us that we're pretty, to tell us that we're successful. And then in the journey of wanting to get that validation from the outside world, we do all sorts of gymnastics, all sorts of unconscious, unaware plays. We think doing this is going to make me happy because it's going to make society happy is what is truly driving us a lot of the times, rather than us taking a holistic view of our life, of our dharma, our specific calling in this life, our duty when it comes to our responsibilities, having that holistic view, overview of your life, practicing patience, and then instead of trying to constantly accelerate, attuning our direction in which we're accelerating. So many times when we are driven by external validation, we are simply accelerating, accelerating towards something that we believe will deliver lasting joy or some sort of a idea of who we are. But maybe we need to analyze whether is this the season to accelerate, or is this the season to figure out my compass, my inner compass, and my sense of direction. What direction do I even want to accelerate on? Is that direction being defined by comparison with my peers? Is that direction being defined by the status quo of our generation, the status quo of societal expectations and timelines? If that is the case, if that is what we're driven by, then I believe that we're not truly living up to our highest potential. Each one of us has such unique, beautiful offerings for this world. When we don't truly sit down and find our inner compass so that we can find our direction, then we are not gearing our journey towards our unique highest potential, to our unique strengths and offerings, and the way we can truly just live an abundant life, abundant externally, internally, in our specific ways, not the way that our peer might be doing exactly. And then once we find that direction, once we have that patience, once we have that inner intuition, and then trusting in that journey, it might not happen right away. It's a journey, it's an unfolding, especially when it's a higher calling. There is a lot of inner patterns that we need to unravel in order to embody that calling. So it takes time. And in that journey, we have to have patience and faith and trust in the direction that it is going into. And that is truly doing service to ourselves. That is the highest form of self-love, when we truly give ourselves the platform and the space to align, to recognize who we are, to recognize the uniqueness within, to recognize all of your strengths and your gaps. Being honest with ourselves about our gaps as well. Just observing the gaps, observing our flaws is a step in the right direction, is a step in allowing us to close that gap. We all have flaws, but we tend to judge ourselves for them because we have this habit of judging and being so critical. We are afraid to be honest with ourselves. We're afraid to look within because we are afraid of our own harsh judgment and criticism. When in reality, what we need to do is accept what is. Okay, this is where I'm at. Everyone has flaws, and this is my unique set of flaws. This is the gaps that I need to close. Instead of judging, recognize that this is just where you are on your journey, but doesn't mean that you remain that way forever. Doesn't mean that you are not a worthy person with immense capabilities. When we stop judging ourselves, we allow ourselves to let our guards down and then start practicing being more and more honest with ourselves. When we let go of judging ourselves, what is there to be afraid of when we're honest, right? If we are judging ourselves, that is when we might be afraid of our own criticism, of our own harsh commentary internally. Valentine's Day is, of course, a day where people celebrate their love with their partners. But it's also a day where we can think about, how do I love myself more? How do I honor myself? How do I truly do justice and service to this life, to this precious life that we all get to direct and take care of? We look for love from the outside world and acceptance and validation because we are truly just missing that on the inside. We're missing that connection of unconditional love with our highest self. Until we reach that point where we establish that connection and we truly just completely snap and let go of the illusion. Until then, of course, there is going to be that external factor of validation, but it's going to keep decreasing and decreasing as you tread closer and closer to your true calling. So yeah, this was my Valentine's Day. I'm here near Squamish, and it's been amazingly beautiful, and I'm so grateful. I saw a eagle earlier. That was really cool. And all the birds just flying everywhere and making all of their like little noises, like, and the water, look at the water. Just just so calming. Thank you for spending the last 12 minutes with me. Goodbye.